Hello my friends, I wanted to share with you my 3D printer, specifically Ender 3 maintenance toolkit that I've put together over the last couple of years while running my Ender 3 print farm, which has consisted of, I don't know, upwards of 14 Ender 3s. I've had 14 Ender 3s at relatives' house, they run them for me, and then I've had another handful or two at my own house that I use for other purposes. All that to say, I've done a lot of maintenance on these things over the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years, I've printed over 10,000 parts with these, and they eventually break down, things go wrong, and you need to replace stuff. So I've put together this toolkit that really has everything that I need to perform any kind of maintenance required on these machines. If there is a planned maintenance, I'm bringing some other parts with me, hot ends or whatever. But what would happen is I'd go to perform maintenance off-site, and then I'd realize, oh, I don't have a particular tool with me, or I'm trying to replace the hot ends, but I realized one of the fans are out. So I just put together a nice robust toolbox that has everything that I could possibly need to perform maintenance on these machines. So I'm going to be repurposing this and probably completely doing away with it pretty soon here. So I wanted to share this with you because I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, this is actually a pretty nifty little toolkit. So I wanted to share it with you before I get rid of it, to give you some ideas for what tools and supplies you might need for your particular toolkit. All right, so let's get into it here. On this side, this is a double-sided toolbox I got from Home Depot a couple years ago. This side I have pretty much all the maintenance parts, and then on this side I have all the tools required to perform the maintenance of those parts. So I know I'm going to get a ton of questions, so I'll try to put as many links in the description as I can for anything here. All right, so let's go on this side here. I would say my ultimate favorite tool or tools out of this whole thing, these guys right here. I've spent so much time assembling Ender 3s and maintaining them with the provided Allen tool keys, and it just takes forever. So eventually I wised up. I got these off Amazon. They're just nice and kind of short and stubby. And then I bought kind of a bit set that had every bit that I needed. And so these guys, these 5 that I have here, I can assemble and maintenance anything on an Ender 3 with all these here. This has everything I need to perform any kind of maintenance that I need to. Really handy, so much faster than using these. I do keep these in here just as backup if need be. The only thing I can't do is obviously loosen the grub screw from the heat block, which is, I still got this guy there for that, but definitely the best investment I made in those. If I can find them, I'll link them because they're amazing. Still got these original guys here. Obviously this is for the nozzle. I don't use that anymore. The second most favorite tool of mine is this. I saw this, I got this idea from Chuck Halabuck. And as soon as I saw him use these, I stopped the video and went to Harbor Freight and got one of these thumb drives. So if you're still using this guy to take your nozzle out, switch immediately to this guy. It's just amazing. Just go underneath, quick ratchet. It makes your job so much easier. Bowden tube, snips, really like that, use that a lot. Miscellaneous zip ties. I do have a Bowden tube down here. I try to keep one with me at all times. You might laugh at me, but I've had nozzle leaks before, and I'll put PTFE around the nozzle. I don't care about off-gassing. I just want it to work. So whatever works, right? I always keep an X-Acto knife with me for whatever I might need. This guy, it's kind of dirty. I'll use this to wipe down the wheels. Wheels get dirty after a while. Here's a molten blob. I'll get the hot end nice and hot, and then sometimes I'll just kind of wipe the nozzle real quick to grab all the molten goo off of it. That works pretty well. Tweezers, oh my gosh. If you're using Ender 3s, you know how much hairs get into the cooling fans. So tweezers really helps get all that junk out of there. This is kind of funny. I would encourage you, take the lead screw off of the Z-axis and just move your X up and down and see if you have free motion. Oftentimes for me, I hear a thud, 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 thud. That means there's a little nick mark in the wheels, and I'll actually use this to sand that little score nick mark off of the V-wheel so I get smooth motion. It's just one of the things I hate about V-wheels. So that's that side of all the tools that I need. Favorite, these are just awesome. Thumb drive, or a thumb ratchet. I just absolutely love that. So going over to the other side, what we have here is basically any parts that I might need. No particular order. I guess I'll just start up here. SD cards, I always keep a few on hand if I need that for anything. I've never had to replace one of these ever. I don't even know what they're called, but you know what they are. I've never replaced them. But I have them there just in case. Extra paper binder clips for the bed. Little, I think this is for the Z-axis. The little limit switch there. I do have an extra extruder assembly if I need. Sometimes this plastic one breaks. I do like the plastic ones, but if one breaks, I have an extra one here. I do carry a few extra Micro Swiss all-metal hot ends with me. If I am going to be doing assembly, a planned maintenance, I'm going to take a whole bunch of these. But again, I want to have like one of everything in here. I usually have a ton of these socks. I absolutely love these socks. I'll try to link these down below because I absolutely love these. Some of them have a wider opening and just allows you to have more, I don't know, more chance of goo getting on the nozzle. The nozzle just barely pokes out, which I really love. I usually have a ton of these, but I've apparently used them all. Yeah, bunch of this stuff. I usually have the thermistor wire in here as well, but apparently I used it last time. Let's see, fans. I got both fans for the hot ends and for just the filament cooling fan. These definitely go out. Again, I like to have one on hand. I might be going to maybe replace a hot end and I find out, hey, the fan's not working anymore, so at least I have a fan with me to perform any unplanned maintenance. Whole bunch of 0.6 millimeter nozzles. I haven't used a 0.4 in over 2 years. I'm still using the cheapies. They work just fine, although there's a lot of value to the expensive ones. I've tested and they're actually pretty nice, but these work just fine for me. Bed adhesion, glue stick, alcohol. I had a few Prusa minis with a PEI sheet on it. I would use this for that, but most of the time I'm using blue tape, which works great. Brand new blue tape, I usually have to put a little bit of a glue stick on it to get it to start sticking well before it breaks in. So this is kind of the overview of my toolkits. It has served me really, really well over the years. I just feel like I'm really well prepared for any type of maintenance that I need to perform. So hopefully this gives you some ideas for yours. Obviously not perfect, but hopefully just give you some ideas. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.